Here's a question from Brad. He asks, in rear lot distribution, when is a circle cut or a C cut okay, and when is it not acceptable practice, and why not? Brad, you don't give me enough information there, so I'm going to cover a whole gamut. First off, circle cuts and C cuts are not proper pruning terms. When you establish the outcome like that, what tends to happen is crews focus on getting that outcome rather than on putting cuts in the appropriate places or doing good pruning. So for that reason, we shouldn't be using terms like that. Secondly, you don't give me information in terms of any line characteristics other than its rear lot. So I don't know, are we talking including service lines? Are we talking secondary conductor? Are we talking primary conductor? Are we talking coated conductor or bare conductor? You also don't give me any information about what the clearance is that is to be established between conductors and trees. So that means I have to start with safety of the public first. Things need to be cleared to such a distance that someone climbing a tree cannot make direct contact with the conductor. They also need to be cleared as a minimum above, such that someone grabbing onto a branch above the conductors does not come down and cross phases. That's another piece of information that you didn't give me, Brad, was are we talking vertical construction or horizontal construction? These things vary. Then we need to look at what's your objective. Is it safety? Is it reliability? Is it economics? From a reliability perspective, I don't care for either one of these, what would result in a circle cut or a C cut, because what's going to happen is new growth is going to go where there's light, where there's opening, and so it's going to grow back towards that towards the conductor at a rapid pace. The C cut, the same sort of thing. You have what some people call a shelf underneath. You have growth underneath the line. The new growth is essentially like crown growth, which grows faster than lateral growth, and it's going to be usurping the clearance that you've established between the conductor and the tree parts. So I don't like to see anything underneath. Overhangs oftentimes can't be avoided. From a reliability perspective, they should be avoided. All it takes is an ice storm and you'll know the why for that. That's typically what happens in ice storms, is its branches breaking off and coming out and either crossing phases or being so heavy as to break the equipment and bring things to the ground. So that's my preference, is to have nothing over, nothing under. And that's from a reliability perspective. It's also the economics enters into it too, and for the reason I already said, that the growth, if you have growth underneath, that space you've created is going to be usurped rather quickly. If branches are taken back to the trunk of the tree, it's dependent on species, but in many cases it'll heal over there and you won't get any new growth going towards the line. So you have that clearance to the side and you've got nothing underneath. So you've established a long-term clearance from below up to the height of the line. And as I said, overhangs, many cases can't be avoided because it looks pretty dramatic when you prune the trees, what we tend to call in the industry ground to sky, and it's rejected by the public, but it is the best practice in terms of reliability. It's also the best practice in terms of economics, in that again, you're taking it back to the trunk of the tree and you're avoiding things growing back over towards the line. So Didn't really answer your question, Brad, but that was because you didn't give me enough definition to say when it would be okay. And I guess basically I answered somewhat in that for reliability and economic reasons, I don't think you should ever use C-cuts or circle cuts. Thanks for your question.